Hi everyone. This week I'd like to show you how we can use accessibility in the screen reader on Android to make sure that we're building a quality app, especially for those who have low vision and depend on these kinds of accessibility tools. So today we're going to talk about Android Talkback, or its equivalent, Android screen reader on Samsung. So let's go ahead and get started. So here I have a recording of what I did earlier on my Android phone. This is a stock out-of-the-box Android phone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up, and everything for Talkback is inside of the Settings app. This is the same across both platforms. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to find a section here called Accessibility. And there I'm going to see something called Talkback or Screen Reader. Let's go ahead and open it up and examine what we have. So I can see right now I have an option that says Use Talkback. If I go ahead and select that, immediately I can see I have something else that comes up. I have a green box. That's currently what my screen reader is reading. Now, I know you can't really hear it, but as I swipe left and right, you can see the green box changes. If I swipe right, I go to the next item. If I go to swipe left, I go to the previous item. You can see me repeating that over and over again on this particular screen. Now, if I want, I can press and hold, and I can examine those different spots on my screen, and I can hear it reading each of those elements for me. Whether it's a label, whether it's a control, I can hear it reading it back to me. Now, I'm going to start scrolling up and down. That requires 2 fingers to go up and down. Same thing here up at the very top in the drawer. I can examine each one of those items up there by pressing my finger and examining each of those items and hearing what it does. Or I can use my 2 fingers to swipe left and right. Same principles, just needing a different finger. So I'm done in this, so I'm going to go ahead and dismiss that by using 2 fingers to slide it back up. And now I'm going to turn on some things to make my life a bit easier. I'm going to turn on the Talkback shortcut, which allows me to press and hold both of those volume keys to enable or disable this tool. That way I don't have to go in here every time I want to change something. Now I'm going to go into Talkback settings, scroll all the way down to advanced settings, scrolling down more to the developer settings, and now I'm going to turn on display speech output. Now you can see exactly what my screen reader is reading back to me, using a little toast at the bottom. This is excellent if you want to make sure that what you're reading out in the app is indeed accurate. So I'm going to jump back up. I have a little bit extra layer of visibility here into what's going on, and I can see exactly what it's saying. So now I'm going to hit the circle button on the bottom, select that box and double tap it, and then I'm going to open up my UPMC. Same concept, select it and then tap it again. Now I'm on the home screen. Let's examine a couple of things that are inside of here. As I go left and right, you can see it's pulling up different labels, it's pulling up different elements that we have, and some of them are fine. Like each one of these buttons up here at the top, it does a pretty good job of telling me what's there, reading out exactly what I'd expect to see. Same thing with the card here. It reads out the title, and as I go to the next item, it reads out the contents, and then finally it reads out the button. Same thing down here. Title is read, then the body, and then the button. Let's scroll down a bit farther and let's take a look at what's farther down below. Now I'm going to skip this message your provider section. It's not very interesting, but the health beat section is not great. You can see this first page here. It doesn't even know what it's looking at. It says it's a button, it's unlabeled, but I can't actually read the content. So this is an excellent example of what could go wrong and why we need to use these tools. We're going to jump in, let's take a look at the list here. Is this any better with the health beat list? Scrolling down, using left or right, I can see I'm going to start putting my finger on the first item, and yes, it looks like I have a pretty decent readout of what's inside here. Using my 2 fingers, I'm going to scroll again, and you can see the screen reader tries to keep up with me as it reads each item that's at the very top. Use my finger once again to hold and examine each of those items. Let's go back up to the previous button up here, and we're back on the home screen. So now I'm going to hit that square button at the bottom, use 2 fingers to go back to the settings app, and now I can see I still have Talkback on. I'm going to use that shortcut to turn it off. Press those 2 power buttons, press those 2 volume buttons on the right, everything shuts off, we're good to go. That is your first introduction of how to use Talkback and why it's going to be useful on Android. Thanks for listening.